What's up, guys? Thank you for clicking on the video. You are looking at the very special exclusive MaxDin release video. This video has got a lot of detail in it. I really need you guys, okay, up front, if you're already convinced and you're like, I trust you, I'm gonna go buy it, you can go on the website, your discount as a founding member is already loaded in. As long as you were logged into the website with your founding member email, your discount will automatically load. If you're not seeing that discount, it's probably because there's another email. Some of you guys have had two. Use your other email, it should load. Obviously, I don't want you to have any problems. If you do have problems, email me, I'll try and get it sorted. So other things I want to tell you, there's a lot of detail in this video. I'm going to give you a lot of specifics. You guys really, I'm sorry, you have to listen through this whole thing if you really want to understand. Same with beta. Everybody's open in Blackcoin to buy this, but we need 30 commitments. There are 30 of you that'll be first. I don't want you to just take beta to be first. I'm going to talk about that in the video, so please stick through the video. All of this is important so that you understand what I'm giving you guys and what we've built here. So stick around. You're watching KnightDriveTV. So this is a video directly for you Blackcoin founding members. And if you are a Bluecoin founding member or a Purplecoin founding member watching this video, it's because our Blackcoin members didn't quite hit the marks that I'd hoped for, but hopefully you Blackcoin guys can come through on this deal. So let's get right into it. It is Thanksgiving right now as I'm speaking to you. So happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great holiday here with all your family, people that hopefully surround you. You know what I mean? Me and Lace, we're just kind of out here on our own, but we're going to go to the Wynn tonight for dinner at the 4 Sixes pop-up. And it's the 4 Sixes if you watch Yellowstone with Kevin Costner, the guy that created that show. They own a real ranch, working ranch in Texas, and they're shooting the next show on there. But they actually started a line of steakhouses, and it's called the 4 Sixes. So anyway, why am I speaking to you today? Well, as you know, it is the release of the C5 MaxDin. And so I'm going to give you some up-close looks at what we have as the final production trim. I'm going to talk to you about some changes as to why we thought we were going to release this like 2 months ago and didn't. I'm going to be very clear with you what I think about the unit, where we've come, the obstacles we've overcome, so that you understand fully what you're getting, and so you can fully understand there's no surprises. And this is something that I've really debated on how to package everything, and so I think that's why the video's taken so long, because I was trying to just first overcome some things that really we were struggling to get past. But luckily through this past SEMA, Em and I get together at every SEMA since we've started this partnership between the two companies. So we were able to really work out some very concerning things that I really wasn't willing to move forward with the unit without. So at this point, the unit does have the things that I really wanted. So let me get into the details, and I am going to show you the bezels in this, the production samples. We have them here, and you guys, may have seen me post pictures of them, but I'm going to actually show you a short video of popping them on the car. You're going to be impressed at how nice these are. So let me give you a little bit of a close-up here of the unit. I have it sitting on the bench here. I'm going to throw it in the car next, but I wanted you to kind of see how it connects. I think that in the other video I showed that, but there are a little small variations here. But I want you to see how tight it is. We refined that edge to get right up to the console really closely. So I want you to see that first. We'll go over the details and everything. Let me give you a quick breakdown for those of you not familiar with the MaxDin to this point. So it has a 128 gigabyte hard drive. It's got an 8-core processor from Qualcomm. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is really good for giving it stability. This current one, there were changes. So our C6 unit is on Android 10. To my understanding, the current hardware that we are going to put into this is Android 13. It's the newest. So when it comes down to this beta situation with the first 30 of you potential 200 founding members with the Blackcoin could purchase it, but the first 30 of you or select 30, I'm going to screen a little bit more this time, are going to be the first to get it. And so we are thoroughly testing the Android 13. They're doing it on other units. I'll talk about the company just so you're clear on who I'm working with and how much experience they have. But anyway, Android 13, Android-based operating system, but obviously Apple CarPlay and Android Auto works wirelessly with this. So it is a standalone unit. It can have its own data card. A lot of guys with C6 use a Mint Mobile or T-Mobile data card. It's like basically you go to Mint Mobile or T-Mobile and you say, I want to activate a tablet. The data is like, I believe people are paying $6.99 a month. That gives you data, so it can work as a standalone unit. It does get its own GPS. Even without that data, you can download the maps when you have Wi-Fi into the unit. And then when you're out and about, you can have live GPS updated with Google Maps, Waze, things like that. The data is what adds the live traffic view, obstacle obstruction, police ahead, all that kind of stuff. So most people, I think, are pairing the phones, and this is wireless again. So, they're pairing their phones and they're running the apps, basically Waze or whatnot through that. So, the good thing for you guys with C5s is C6 in the MaxDin support group. There are 900 people in there, maybe 1,000. I would say 2/3 of those people own the unit. So you have a lot of people in there with a lot of experience. The core UI interface is the same. So, all the questions you may have with compatibilities, you'll be in the MaxDin support group kind of talking through with a few guys that have stepped up a lot more from C6 side to help other people, and that's much appreciated. Dalton's, that's one of them. That comes to mind off the top of my head. There's another one. I wish I could remember. Hold on. So to shout out some of you guys in the C6 side of things, we have Brian Hamilton, TJ Barrier, Micah Utley, Utley, Kelby Weiss. He definitely communicates. John Gassman, Jeff Dubian, and Dalton's. That's just some of you guys that are were not only beta members but are contributing members pretty frequently. You will have a lot of help when it comes to configuration and some of the things that those guys have been doing with, doing a custom screen and whatnot. But there's so much modification that you can do with this system. It's pretty impressive. And anything, obviously, most Bluetooth apps, or not Bluetooth, Android apps will work on this. So there's just a ton of configuration. Obviously, the HVAC system's incorporated into this. So only, just to be very clear up front, only the guys with the dual zone, and I probably should have one in front of me. I think it's pretty clear, actually. If your C5 has 3 knobs on the HVAC and no screen, you are not eligible to get this yet because we have to do further development for those units. This is only for people that have the screen and the knobs on each side with the buttons across the bottom. That is the electronic HVAC control. That is what this is configured to replace. That's basically the rundown of the system. It is compatible with up to 3 cameras. On the C6, we have a front curb view camera. We have a rear view camera that is HD. And then we have a dash DVR system that's looping that records to an SD card. You do have preamp outs. So you guys that, with C5 especially, and I'm going to talk about the Bose here in upcoming minutes, a lot of guys have subs and have amps in the vehicle because the sound system in the C5 was obviously not what you get with a C8 today or something like that. So we have preamp outs from this. And so you have sub, front right, front left, rear left. And we are making a major change to those preamps. So the C6 unit, because of the hardware at the time that we created it, those preamps were 1.96 volt outputs. Obviously, when you get into the higher end Kenwoods and things like that, the big dog double dins, you can get up to 4 volts, I think. So because of the issues we had with the Bose system in the C5, this was one of the major changes that kind of pushed the development of the C5 unit out further. We now have 4 volt outputs. So if you are running an amp aftermarket audio system, you have 4 volt outputs out of this, which was a big step up for this system because everything's a compromise. When you target money to development of everything, you're kind of trying to balance what the cost of development is, what the cost of the hardware is, and balance everything out so I can sell it to you guys semi-affordably. This upgrade to 4 volt was a big deal. It caused a lot of restructuring, we'll say, to get this done. So this benefits the Bose system compatibility, but it definitely benefits people running aftermarket systems, which I think if you invest this much in the MaxDin, I personally think you should invest in the rest of the audio system and just literally update the entire car. This feels like getting wheels and tires and no suspension or something like that. Getting headers and no exhaust. Maybe that's a better one. If you got headers, you should probably get at least an X pipe and an exhaust. You know what I mean? So I think the MaxDin kind of, unfortunately, it opens up the doorway for you to maybe explore the rest of the sound system bit by bit. And I think you're gonna have excellent performance then. The Bose across not just GM, but I think Nissan, Aston Martin, a few of them have used Bose. It's such a difficult system to work with. Anyway, that doesn't mean it's not plug and play. It is. So I think that's a wrap on, let me think, the outputs. So you have 4G antennas. You have a GPS antenna that connects to this. It gets its own GPS, like I said. And I think that's it. You have an aux line in if you need it. All the things you would expect from an aftermarket radio, this has. So, and there's a lot of future add-on capability. So very customizable. Let me jump over. Let me show you how it interfaces with the console, because this has changed. As you guys have followed, we had printed versions, prototyped versions. So this has the lighting, the buttons that light up. This is what you expect to see. So the pieces out of the mold are very close actually to the satin finish of the OEM panels. I know if there's a few of you that have that 50th anniversary, I think it is that 50th, 57? Millennial? I don't remember. You got some anniversary, it is 50th. They have a shale interior. Some people have asked me, can you do this in shale? No. Just by nature, we're going to produce these, especially now, the way they are. But the trim panel does come off quite easily. So if you wanted to go to a body shop or somewhere to get them to match paint, I'm sure it would not be that much if you really were determined to do it. Essentially, I think this will look fine over top of the shale, but like I said, if you really wanted to match it, I think you could. Same for guys that want to paint this or something. It is removable. It's not going to be easily damaged. It does come right off. You have to be a little bit careful with the reset button on the front, but other than that, it will come off. You can customize it. You can do anything, but this is the only finish we're going to have, the satin finish. So everybody obviously ordering, this is what you're going to get. Okay, so here is what you were looking at in terms of the gap, and a lot of this is shadow. To be honest with you, you can see, I don't know if it would be best if I mean, my hand is behind here. You cannot see. I'm trying to find where the gap is. I mean, it's very, very small if it's there at all. Down here, we hug this as much as we can, but you can see the gaps. I mean, it's very, very tight. I hope you can see this. I'm trying to turn where the light is. It's extremely tight up to it. Oh, something fell off. I don't know what that was. Oh, that was just laying there. That's from the prototype. But you could see we matched this as absolutely best as we could. I could see a little dabble of light, as you can see there. So down here, this was a very tricky area. We refined this a number of times. But as you can see, I mean, stepping away, kind of zooming in, and I'll show you more in the car. I mean, very close to the satin finish. Looks very good installed, I think. And so that's where we are. Let me show you the back. So these are your antenna connections, your antennas, GPS, 4G. This is the antenna for the car for FM. And then you have these inputs, and all these are unique, so you can't mix this up. You have an onboard fuse here, a lot of heat sink and heat control. A lot of these units, let me swing the camera around. They're basically, I will say there's probably 4 or 5 companies attempting to do this that I know of in Shenzhen. There's basically 3 top dogs, and the company I'm working with is one of those 3. And you may have seen other versions, and these have been out for a couple years when it applied to certain newer vehicles, like the Phoenix unit. And a lot of people have brought up the Phoenix units. They had a lot of issues, freezing, things like that. And what I will tell you guys is what I will tell all the people in the C6. You can have 2 laptops. They can look the same. They can be sitting next to each other. They're both laptops. They both have keyboards. One works a lot differently than the other for a reason, and it's what you don't see. And I can tell you that I've looked at other companies, and I can actually show you a little bit later in the video here. I'm trying not to make this video too long, just so you know. So I'm trying to talk fast. I'm going to show it to you later, the difference between some of these companies and what this company is making. The company I'm working with, they actually make units for a major OEM manufacturer, a major auto brand that you are very familiar with. So that's the level that these are built to. This is not a sweatshop. This is a company that goes through extensive testing. They have OEM engineers that once worked for major automotive OEM brands that left those brands to work for this company. So these are top-level engineers. So these units are built very robust, and so it's not going to be the same. If you've ever heard of freezing and stuff like that, we have no issues like that whatsoever. Now, as with any electronic device, we have had people in C6 that have gotten this white foggy screen due to plugging things in or disrupting the power source. Corvettes are known. If you guys know, you sit your car for a couple of weeks, the C5 has a parasitic draw. It will drain the battery, and maybe it'll just kind of start up barely. That can affect these, and you could get a white screen. These do need voltage stability. So we've had a few people that said, hey, my car was sitting, I started it up, and it got this white screen. They had to do a reset and whatnot. It's just because of the power stability. It needs to see a minimum voltage, and when the car's starting, it can draw that battery down very low and disrupt. So we've had issues like that, but I can tell you in C6, just for a reference, we've had those out for a year and a half now. I've probably sold about 650 units at this point. We have warranty legitimately through testing, through verification back and forth. We have literally warranty returned 5 units. So that's it. Now, the list of people saying this doesn't work, the screen won't turn on, it's foggy, you know, you have all these install problems. You've got install shops that can't follow directions. I've had multiple people send it back to me saying it's not working. I tested it in a C6, sent it back to them, it works. So, you know, people are very quick. They install something and they immediately react. Oh, this doesn't work. This is, you know, it's lighting up, but this ain't working. Everybody needs to slow down, and that's the key with beta this time, is just slow down. It's not, you know, you should have no issues and everything should boot up immediately, but with C6, we had a lot of issues because people were just plugging in this little element wrong, and I'm hoping we can get past all that with C5 and we don't have any of those issues, but I'm just telling you it did happen with C6. But in terms of functionality, the biggest issue we had with C6 was just tweaking the HVAC system. And that was really because the HVAC system in the C6 is very finicky. So let me just be very transparent as always with the one issue that we have and we will probably continue to have. When it comes to the auto system, I'm going to try and explain how this works. So in the C6, there are 4 temperature sensors, and there is a sun load sensor that all talks to the auto system. It's very complex. GM doesn't share this data. This was not something we could obtain. The system complexity was very high. The way that they ended up compromising that was there is a temperature sensor in the screen, and basically the auto system takes away the vent temperature, the external, the internal load, all that stuff, and makes it just a dash sensor basically. So the auto system, for people that have wanted to set a temperature and run it in the C6, they have felt like there was a lack of accuracy. And especially it happened in fall and spring when there's these weird in-between temperatures where people want to set 75 here and 71 over in a C6 and all this stuff. They were having issues. So setting temperature, setting blower speed, and just kind of self-regulating became the most reliable way. This was just a compromise that we can't get around. So let me segue that into the HVAC system for the C5. And one thing that I'm going to factually tell you guys, when we tested my car is this, well, now it has 70,000 miles on it. I bought it with 51,000, my Z06. HVAC system worked perfectly. When we were first testing it, the engineers said, something's wrong with it. Yeah, something's wrong with your system. And I'm like, no, there's no way. I mean, I had resoldered, reflowed all my joints. My display worked perfectly. HVAC worked perfectly, charged really good. So I was like, I'm telling you guys, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. No, it's not functioning. It's not functioning. So one of you guys, and I can't remember who it was, but I could get the guy to vouch. It was a C5 in Vegas. I put out an Instagram post. Does anybody have the dual zone? You can bring your car here. He was a younger guy. Sorry, I can't remember your name. If you ever see this video, you're not a founding member, so probably won't. I brought him here. We tested it. I may have video I can throw in. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to take a long time to edit this. We brought him here. They got in his car. They test. And what they concluded was the issue is they were using the dual knobs, the zone, where you go temperature over here for the passenger, temperature over here for the driver. They were temperaturing and they were not getting a difference of more than like a degree. And it was not even reliable. And so I've done some research. Gary Kopko, who's in the group, we've talked about it. I think I've read. So essentially the dual zone system in the C5 is not nearly the dual zone system of the C6. The C6, you can have a clear differential. The C5, not so much. I'm sure GM didn't put a fake knob there, but the temperature differential is very, very little. So what they ended up asking me is they said, what should we do with this? Because it's so small, it will add a level of complexity. It'll add more development cost. I said, don't worry about it. So I'm just going to tell you guys the dual knobs and the control is even there. But they did not put a lot of energy into managing that because it really just doesn't work. I hate to say that GM just, these cars were kind of, budget constrained. And when they built these, GM was in bankruptcy. The C5 almost didn't even happen. They sunsetted the C4. They were going to end the line at C4 Corvette. If you ever read about it, a lot of guys within GM snuck budgets and pulled budgets from marketing and things to make the C5 Mule. The C5 was a very basic car in a lot of ways, and they focused more on the drivetrain and on certain aspects, the performance aspects, not the interior. So that's the situation. I just want you guys to understand the auto system is, set your temperature, set your blower speed, you're fine. That's the deal with the HVAC. It works. It goes all the vent positions, blah, blah, blah. It's good. One thing I want to remind everybody is your car is not brand new. This is new, brand new. This is tested. This is repeatedly tested. This is made by a company that's very high end, very high level. I try to remind C6 guys of this. Most people don't really analyze their HVAC system, analyze their audio system. It's like consciously analyze everything until they put something in that makes them start doing a bunch of testing and analysis. I think a lot of things pre-exist. So I will tell you guys, just really, make sure your systems work. Make sure everything works the way it's supposed to before you switch, just so you have an objective comparison. It's very easy to install. I'm going to, maybe I'll show you here and again, but it's super simple, guys. So you're pulling out your stock, pull your console off, pull your stock stuff out, your HVAC, your radio, unplug, and you plug it into this. It's so simple. It's 5 plugs. That's all you have to do. Let me get to the audio side of things. Bose. C6 had 2 levels of audio. It had an AC Delco 125 watt amp, had Bose 250 watt amp, as I recall. The Bose system, we did lose a little bit of bass performance in the C6. We do have settings and gain settings. There's a lot in the unit. When you first install this unit, the audio is like flat. So do not overreact. There's a lot of settings you have to do, and I'll talk about that. Maybe I'll try and show you here in a minute. There's gain settings. There's some adjustments you need to make. And again, the unit I am testing on right now sounds, I would say, on the Bose, the door speakers, the big door speakers, that's where the issue is in C5, because that's all that is Bose, is the big door speakers. Everything else runs straight. So you're losing some depth is what I feel like. But let me just be clear before you overreact. This is a 2-volt output. The 4-volt output sample is coming. It's going to be a good step up. And I do think overall, the quality is very acceptable. If you want more, there's a reason you see so many C5 guys with subs in the back. And I have a sub that I would suggest to you guys is super affordable. You don't have to go with a big, crazy system. I think it's something that you would add anyway, to be honest with you, because the audio system in these cars is not very good. The highs are plenty good, the bass kind of lacking. So that means you're not going to have an issue, though. You plug this in, you're fine. You follow the settings, you'll be good. So we're going to let me talk about the sell-through real quick. And I'm trying to go fast. I'm looking at the freaking timer. I'm sorry, guys. This is like a lot to package. I'm just trying to give you all the information you need to make a wise conscious decision about whether you want to buy this or not. I'm not trying to sell people something they don't want or feel like they got sold on something. This is an extremely complex, extremely complicated unit to develop. I think for the money, to be honest with you, when you see the energy of, you know, sometimes I said you know, Morimoto headlights from China is $1,500, and this is in that range for you guys. That to me is a huge accomplishment, because this is extremely difficult to develop in comparison to a headlight. So you know, for them to be the same price kind of blows my mind in a way. So all you Black Coin founding members, if you do remember, as a Black Coin founding member, you get $250 off of the retail of the unit. So when you go into the website as a Black Coin founding member, as long as your account is matching, the discount will already be loaded. You will get your price on the website. So I'm making this as affordable as I can, and I need as many of you guys to buy in early as possible so that we can, one, get it to you the cheapest possible. Two, I can build as many as possible, recover the investment. We can work on the triple knob thing, and we can work on something that connects to this seamlessly, that is going to also change the interior. And some of you guys may know what it is. I'm not going to give it away just yet, but trust me, this connects to something else in the car that you have never seen before, that nobody, again, was ever going to develop. If this hadn't been developed, I pushed for this. This company was not going to do C5. No company will do C5. I had to do it. I had to make it happen by bringing them here and testing on this car. And the fact that they were only going to do all this for C6, C5 was never going to happen. This is happening because solely I made it happen. And so that's the only way this was ever going to work out. If it's not 100% perfect, nothing is, okay? Putting a Kenwood in your car, putting an Alpine in your car, nothing is 100%. It's all a learning curve. It's all compromise, because this is not OEM stuff. So point is, I'm trying to get this to you guys as affordable as possible. Your discount's already loaded. Please buy as many as you can. When it comes to the beta, I'm going to, if you cannot be betas, let me talk about beta real quick. I hope you guys are still with me on this. Beta. The last time we did beta with C6, a lot of guys didn't install the unit. I need beta people to install within 2 weeks of getting this. If you don't feel like you can't install it within 2 weeks of receiving it, and where we estimate right now is going to be late December, that we're going to build these. Could go into January for you guys. Just be clear. I don't want to be rushed. We don't want to rush. We want to make sure it's right for the first 30. We need within 2 weeks. So if you guys have your car torn to shreds over the winter, please just put in the notes, not beta. If you're the first guy to buy it and you know you can't install it, please put in the note of the order, no beta, or just I don't want to be beta. And so we need the first 30 guys to be guys that install it themselves. I don't care if a couple of you, you know, I can't determine how many are going to take it to a shop, but this is really easy. If you can take the console out, you can install this. So first 30, however many of you sell through, I'm just going to tell you that the cost for the masses is going to be determined by you guys and by Blue Coin and Purple Coin members. Founding members will determine the cost of this unit. And the reason that is because I just need to see what volume we are at. And then when I release it, I have to hit a certain volume. So I'm giving it to you guys as absolutely marginal to loss. Well, it is loss, to be honest with you. I am losing still. I have to get to a threshold to not be losing anymore. So when I give it to you at this price, this is a loss, let me tell you. And but you guys are fueling me to that line of threshold of where I gain, and I did finally make it past that line with C6, and I think we'll make it here. I'm really hoping more of you guys buy it than C6. I had 503 commitments, and I sold 121 of these units with C6 in the first month. It was not good. It really wasn't good. Made it through, but wasn't easy. So let me go into the car, plug this up, just let you kind of get a visual of what we have going on. Stick with me, guys. I know it's Thanksgiving. Super sorry. Obviously, at any point in time, you can click away. You can go on to the website. You can commit. If you don't want to hear all this, just commit. Just commit. Just take out your money. Please spend. Spend. You can finance it. It's good. Let me hurry up and do this. It's Thanksgiving. It's 9:47 in the morning here in Las Vegas. I'm trying to get this plugged in and finish this video. So, all right. I think I've answered it. I hope you guys have listened through all this. I'm sorry. Let's jump in the car. Let's plug it up. Let's let you see it in its glory. And I'm going to tell you a few things, and that'll be it. All right, got this all set up. So you can see, I mean, with the background, that's Tyler King's car. Obviously, he has the RGBs. So this is what it does look like. And there's your shot right there. Obviously, you can see these are changing color. We'll get to a few things here. Let me kind of hand hold the camera. Just kind of take you through a basic setup that I have. We have a bunch of different options here on this main screen. This is the modern. In the settings, which you can go to, you have general, audio, video, user system. Homepage style, you have modern, and you have classic. I tend to use modern. There's a lot of settings in here that people will be needing to familiarize themselves with. The audio, you can go into the equalizer, which we will. Video, in motion, obviously that's the thing, the e-brake to sit still. You've got some default stuff for users, interfaces, and then you've got like a software version. This is where you would upgrade a factory reset if you sell it or you need to reset for any reason. GPS network, all kind of different things that we have to have here. So I tend to use the modern style, and you'll see the C6 guys are using a Gamma launcher. It's a whole different screen configuration, which I'll try and show you in this video. But just quickly, you can do this in a pretty reasonable amount of time. So holding anywhere on the screen brings up this menu. So you can see here, you've got all these different options of widgets you can put on the screen, things like that. So that's where most of that came from. So I have Spotify, YouTube, I have my settings, DSP, which is your EQ. I have some of this stuff will be here by default, your Chrome. Obviously I can go to, I'm on Wi-Fi in the garage right now. You could use a hotspot for this. You could just do so many things. So obviously I can, you know, go on here, watch one of my tragedy video to where I lost all the money on the freaking, on the freaking lights. Spotify, which default connects to my phone when I'm in the vehicle. Obviously, I can jump onto Facebook, see who's answering me and whatnot, see what you guys are telling me in the KnightDriveTV group. We've got, you know, weather, different things, so it'll update. You can configure this however you want, obviously. Let me think. So, yeah, DSP stuff. So here is your EQ, and like I said, this will come flat. This is kind of a wave pattern that I tend to put in, and when you swipe sideways on these screens, you can see I have the gains turned up and strong bass all the way up in this configuration. Like I said, this is a 2-volt unit. We expect a big change with a 4-volt. You can control different sound field delays, stuff like that. You have balance screens, so you have a lot of control over the audio. You have FM, you have a lot of different things, and I even, you know, put in the LED lamp app, and we'll see here once it connects. I have the LED app. It's connected to the headlights. I have a camera out in front of the car. I'll throw it on screen, but you can see here I don't have any of my presets, but we're switching color. See? Isn't that exciting? So if you happen to have the RGBs, you can sit in here. Obviously, you could do this on your phone. This is nothing super special, but just point is, you know, you can run different apps, do different things, and you have all those options on the screen. So let's see here. So if you swipe up, you have a lot of the default loaded apps, a lot of different things on here. Ambient light set, which we have here. This is what controls these outer buttons. So as you can see, you can tune this to your car's liking if you have a particular color. So you can basically customize it, do anything you want with it. Here's your HVAC controls down here. That's your HVAC screen, same as the C6. I have the car off right now. I can't start it, but all your controls are in here, your vent controls. And we'll talk about all that stuff as the unit comes out. But as you can see, it reverts back. But I mean, for real, it's a game changer for the C5. It's not going to be for everybody. But guys, this is, you know, it's pretty substantial to have in this interior of this car. I mean, it really changes the game on the C6, but there's something about the Jekyll and Hyde like nature of this being inside of the C5 that feels crazy. So guys, I hope this gives you some insight into the unit and it gives you some confidence to take a chance, obviously, and as all of you founding members did in the black coin, blue coin, even purple, as you took a chance on KnightDriveTV, we made some things from Las Vegas, starting out with these headlights and going on to these bezels, and you guys bought both and became founding members. And so bezels cost you a little more, obviously, but I'm giving back when it comes to the size of the discount here, in the hopes that you guys will continue to sign on for what KnightDriveTV releases to make your car unique. Obviously, the headlights over the years have become, you know, you could call it viral across the C5 community. We even have, you know, an Instagrammer wannabe who's trying to copy and knock them off and undermine KnightDriveTV and things like that, and you'll have that. So, you know, we're going to continually just innovate, and that's just always what I wanted to do. So I'm not going to be disrupted by people like that. But, you know, so this is just more example and more sample of that. We're going to continue to make things that nobody makes. And, you know, there may be copies, knockoffs, people that get real mad about it and all that stuff. But, you know, I'm just going to do my own thing like I always do. And so we have a lot more coming. The features that we fought for this unit are not immediately visible. The production units that you get will be a little bit different even than these. Like I said, some hardware changes and some things that I will tell you guys about in the future, but I can tell you that more is to come. I am focusing across the entire interior in ways that, you know, if it continually gets bought into, we'll continue to do it, and we can make the C5 really one of those staple Corvettes that just has all the right options, just enough analog, just enough digital technology, enough analog driving experience mixed with some modern amenities. I think that's a big deal. So last and not least here, I hope you guys go on to the website, buy this, get in line, and we're gonna get this done. This is not gonna be a bezel situation. I'm showing you a functional, fully operational unit for a reason. Having a partner company goes a long way. Doing the bezels by myself, tougher. So speaking of the bezels, I'm going to show you a quick clip here. You can see me snapping these on in place. This is Lace and I will release this video independently, but you can see the top clip on these is kind of brittle with the 3D printing, so they didn't really suck themselves in. But watch this thing when I go to put it on, it kind of sucks it out of my hand. All right, so we have the correct one. The idea would be is you're going to kind of swivel them down like this on the card. That clip, you should be able to engage that clip and
bam.
Well, bam, there you go. So yeah, I think it speaks for itself. That holes line up. Yeah, so I mean, wow, you get a lot more of a like an effect off of.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely fit, guys. I mean, and look what you get out of that finish. I mean, for the RGBs, obviously, you get a lot more of a view, but I mean, I got to say, they fit pretty damn good. It fits really well. I hope you can see here. So the bezels are coming. We expect they are in full production at this point. So the bulk is being done. Everything fits, and we expect those in December with the rounds coming probably late December or January. So this will finally be behind me. We can focus on other things, and there's a lot I have planned. So I'm probably forgetting all kind of things. I hope to God you guys aren't bombarding me with questions of like, what do I do about this or what do I do about that? I don't think so. The timelines, just to reiterate, I think I'm going to have the updated sample here in probably the middle of December. I will report to you guys what kind of audio differential I have. There's no point me playing audio. Some of you guys may say, like, well, you didn't play the radio in this and all that stuff. For one, YouTube will copyright that, so I can't do that. Two, you know, conveying it over whatever you're listening to, it's not going to obviously translate the audio clarity. The clarity is very good. Like I said, in this condition, the Bose, I feel like there is a bass reduction. I would say 70% of it is recovered, but we hope that's higher with the 4-volt outputs, and I'm quite certain it will be. Bose likes a higher voltage line input. So that is definitely a big part of it. So I think we'll definitely be good there. Otherwise, I wouldn't be putting this out. So that's why the 30 of you, just know that if you go over 30, the money's held. And if we have any issues, we're going to get past beta before we move forward. And then the betas, you are covered by the partner company. Obviously, if we have any issues, we will figure it out no matter what happens. I always do. And I try to take every precaution, and this is a highly complex thing, so I'm trying to take every precaution, but I feel confident we can move forward and lock everybody in. So please, guys, come through. I hope you can. I know it's expensive, but overall, I think when you look at the value of the HVAC unit, having this level of amenity in the car and the fact that it has future compatibility with other portions of the dash, there's a lot to be had here for cheap. The C5 is saving us all money because they are cheaper to operate than buying a C8 or something like that. So that's it, guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope I didn't go too long-winded here. It was tough. There's a lot of information. This is a very complex piece of equipment. So that's it, guys. I appreciate everything, and we'll see where we land. Hopefully you guys can cover the 30 at least. I would really hope there's 200 of you. But we'll see. So thanks everybody out there who supported KnightDriveTV, who supports what Lace and I, and obviously Kelsey now these days, are doing to make the C5 community better. And yep, lots more to come, hopefully. I'll catch you later.